With most of the talk in 2024 surrounding the brand new TaylorMade Qi10 driver, I posed the question, just how good really is it compared to last year's TaylorMade Stealth 2 driver? You see, the brand new Qi10 will set you back £499. That's an astronomical amount of money. I was looking at our friends at Golf Clubs for Cash, and I can get a TaylorMade Stealth 2 in very good condition in your specs for £259. So how much difference do you want to see for that value? We're going to test them today, both out here on the golf course and in the studio. Now we're talking. And we'll kick things off with the Qi10. Some very difficult driver holes coming up as well. So we need to hit some fairways and we need to get things going. So, big fan of the Qi10. I like the branding around it. I do prefer the blue, and I much prefer this infinity crown. And that felt absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the best drives I've hit in a very, very long time. That's straight down the centre of the fairway. As you can imagine, guys, we're using exactly the same golf balls today as well. And as I look at these, shelf appeal-wise, they look very similar. We've got inertia generator on the bottom, we've got that speed pocket, we even have weighting in the same place. As you'll see, these are the same lofted drivers, both set on lower, because that just suits my swing a little bit more. If we start to look at the top of these clubs, we have that infinity crown that I mentioned. I think that looks way better, way sleeker than that multi-material that we do get on the Stealth 2. The Stealth 2 also has that red ring around the back, which, I don't know, it almost looks a little bit like it's just stuck on realistically. At the time, it was so that people knew you were playing the Stealth 2, but now, you don't want to know you've played the Stealth 2, do you? So, obviously the big difference is the red face and the blue face. TaylorMade have slightly improved the carbon face on the new Qi10. They made it a little bit tougher, a little bit tougher is the right word, I suppose. Right, looking at me like I'm an alien. I don't know what I've done wrong. Are we talking too loud? I don't think it feels. I'm talking to my friend, Bobby. Right, same swing again. That's a little bit low left. It's going to be interesting to see the difference in distance there. That's going to be in the left-hand rough. So having pre-recorded the indoor section to this video, I must say one thing I think TaylorMade have done exceptionally well throughout the whole carbon wood era, through the Stealth 2, the Qi10, the carbon face doesn't feel like a carbon face. When you hit it, when you hear it, it sounds just like a normal driver face, like a titanium face. So how they managed to do that, I don't really know, to be honest, because I remember hitting the old Callaway C4 driver. Do you remember that, Bobby? Was that before your time? No, way before Bobby's time. That was a full carbon head and it sounded awful. It sounded dull. It just didn't go out that well. The Stealth 2s and the Qi10s, I think, are doing really well for sound and feel. They sound totally different to anything else on the market, which I think is what TaylorMade's MO was with that. And I think the Qi10 just feels a little bit firmer, which I quite like personally, but you guys might like the feel of the Stealth 2 better. It's totally subjective if you like it firmer or softer, depending on probably what golf ball you use as well, realistically. Let's see which one's won round one. And we have the Stealth 2 in the left-hand rough. That was pilot error, to be honest. A slightly worse golf swing than the first one in the Qi. The Qi10 nicely aboard the fairway there. That's a big drive for me as well, to get to that corner, to be able to leave yourself probably a pitching wedge in on this hole is a good drive. That's 1-0 to the Qi10. Let's open the shoulders up on the next hole. Then we're going to talk numericals. Numbers, Bobby, that. So this could prove to be quite an interesting test, because I'm a firm believer that actually the TaylorMade Sim is still a fantastic drive. If you'd like to see me test the TaylorMade Sim amongst this lineup, then get in the comments below and let me know. Also, guys, hit that subscribe button while you're here. We are well on the way to 300,000 subscribers. I'd love you to be a part of it. No, Bobby, not you. You behind the lens. Let's go Stealth 2 first this time. Thank you, Bobby. And we'll see if we can get a better golf swing on it. Now, I didn't game the Stealth 2. I gamed the initial Stealth. And then when the Stealth 2 had its time, I felt like it wasn't an amazing upgrade on the Stealth. I felt like it was a little bit of a refurb. So that year I used the Paradigm Triple Diamond and absolutely loved it. The Qi10, I think, is a nice move away. When we were at PGA Tour Superstore in America, we saw the my Qi10s. Locked, it's locked. Go, go, go. Oh, look at that. Why don't we get cool stuff like this at home? It's like a black and... Look at that crown, Bobby. That is possibly the coolest thing I've ever seen. There's an oxymoron there, isn't there? A stealthed out Qi10. All black, black on black on black. And that, I could see myself with that. And they look fantastic. The all blacked out version, the version with the green face, absolutely delightful. And not too much more money either. So the fact they're available, I think, is quite nice. Come on. Straight down it. Maybe a touch of draw would be delightful. That felt lovely. And certainly a higher pitch as well. That's a really nice strike with the Qi10, that one. So if we can recreate that with the Qi10, because I've just hit the Stealth 2 and not the Qi10, confusing myself, but you can see how centered that was. That was lovely and out of the middle. So realistically, how much difference are you going to see with these clubs for the price? Because the price is the big thing. And as I mentioned, golf clubs for cash are an amazing place where you can go and get second-hand golf clubs. You could probably get yourself a second-hand Qi10 for cheaper than you would get it from American Golf or Scottsdale or Clubhouse Golf or Dick's Sporting Goods if you're in the USA. But you need to be able to make sure you get the right specs. If you're spending this amount of money, specs are vital. If you're spending that amount of money, specs are, guess what, Bobby? Vital. Because money's money and golf clubs are golf clubs. It's only a good deal if it works. If not, it's cheap if it doesn't work. James Robinson, 2024. Right. Same swing, please. Would be nice. Oh yeah, carbon copies. Look at that for a ball flight, Bobby. Where's that been? And I'll tell you what, they're neck and neck, aren't they? See how close together they are in the fairway? I actually feel like a proper golfer now. My game's been down the toilet for a couple of weeks. It's been a long couple of weeks. It's been an emotional couple of weeks. I feel like I'm just trying to get the game back a little bit. Which one's further down there? Comment below. Let me know what you think. Just call me Centerline Robinson, Bobby. Can we talk about how consistent they were? Really, really happy with those. And as you can see, really, we're not splitting those. You could say one's a little bit further. I think actually the Stealth 2 is a little bit further than the Qi10. The Stealth 2 is the one further on the right, but I was really pleased with how the both held their line. They were both pretty straight golf shots. And realistically, all you're looking at there is what different bounce did it get. Was it a bit firmer on one bit of the fairway than the other? But we're going to give it the Stealth 2. That's 1-1. Guys, let's jump inside. Let's talk numbers for these two clubs. How much difference is there going to be? Is there going to be 10, 15 yards difference for your money? Or is it going to be quite a close call? Then we're going to finish up on the 18th hole. We're going to really open the shoulders up. Look how close they are. I think they're actually bang at... Can I even give that the Stealth 2? They're bang next to each other. What do you reckon? Close at VAR. What do we think, Bobby? The Stealth 2, isn't it? One just either side. I'd say that's half a yard. 3/4 of a yard. That is. So when it comes to numbers for these two golf clubs, how much difference is there going to be? And I'm really, really intrigued by this because these drivers are pretty much identically spec'd, just one generation after another. And when I saw Bobby's fit in for the Qi10, I couldn't quite believe the differences that you could see in ball speed and spin rate and everything else. So we'll go Stealth 2 first. We'll see what numbers we can put on the board. Having tested them both outside, I'm amazed how different they feel actually. For them both to have a very similar carbon face that's just been titivated a little bit and of course changed colour, very, very different feel. So hats off to TaylorMade for slightly improving that. And the look on top, I mean, the look on top, we've spoken about it outside. I don't need to go into it anymore, but I did quite like that red ring initially when I first saw it in California 2.5 years ago now. But that Infinity Crown, I think it's called, if I've got that right, I can't believe it, looks phenomenal. So I just want to get that in there. Right, numbers. Now, straight away, check that out. You know the Stealth 2, there's something about it that I think, 270 carry, 293 total, backspin's low around 2000, which this carbon face I always found did offer. How far can we get and how low can we go, Bobby, you could say, because I'm really impressed with that. 160 ball speed. And that's even better. That's a 164 ball speed, and that's pitching at 282, and that's 305 yards. The Qi10's got a lot to beat, hasn't it? I mean, when you look at what you can get these for at like golf clubs for cash as well, that Qi10's going to have to send some now. Very consistent, similar ball flights. That's the one you do worry about a little bit. That's cutting off to the right. Is it the forgiveness element potentially that is the big deal here? Or is it how far can it go? 265 that time, so just the 35, 40 yards less. That's obviously pilot error. And that one's over to the left. High ball speed though. Somehow I've managed to hit the rough here, and I don't know how because the rough's a long way to the left. 273. Accuracy's for the golf course though, isn't it, Bobby? Right, come on. Keep that spin down, that's the key. That felt really solid. 163 ball, 280 carry, it's another 300er. Just 306. Right. How far has this got to go now to be better? I suppose we will say. Like I said, looks miles better to me, feels better out on the course. And check this out. That's 163.5 ball, and that's centre. Go on, get up there. Get up there, you. That's the first swing with it. That's all I'll say. Why haven't I got this in the bag, by the way? I've not hit that very well at all. I've hit the rough again. I've hit the rough again. 277. Keep it in play, you donut. Right, come on. 305 to beat. That's a 166 ball speed. Ball speed, that's insanity. Spin was a little bit higher, but that's a really controllable ball flight. 291 with a 3000 spin. So 166 again, Bobby. We're peeling out 166 ball speeds here, and that's in the middle. Oh, it's on the line. I quite like them getting more spin rate with this, you know, because that's on the line again, is it? Is that 2 in a row on the line? Oh my God. 2 in a row on the centre line with a bit of fade. Now we're talking. This is long. This is like the longest by far. Could be a 285 carry. 281. Megs, I must admit, I'm finding it hard to, apart from this being way more accurate for me personally, I'm struggling to change them or separate them really in here. But I'm really enjoying, look at this go now. 164, sub 2 spin. It's a 283 carry, and it's the longest of the day at 306.5. Call me an ambulance because my back has just gone. Okay, this is it. Bottom of the 9th, bases are loaded and the scores are tied. Did I get that right? I think so. I think it's pretty close realistically. And we have blue versus red, good versus evil, City versus United. I'm just trying to think of all the cliches we can go with. I'm going to go Qi10 first. We'll keep the order going. As you can see, numbers wise, we're not really splitting it inside. Maybe forgiveness, you could say a touch. That's what TaylorMade would say when it comes to the tech in this club. So I bet that good. And that's a lovely fade. I am really enjoying the shapes I'm getting with these clubs, to be honest. I think, not gonna lie, I've practiced a little bit and I'm starting to hit it better. That's the be all and end all realistically of the shape here, but certainly the feel that we get with these clubs is quite different, and you'd be amazed how different it is. A lot of people might think, oh, it's just a different coloured face. I certainly feel like there's a different feel when it comes to hitting these clubs, and I personally prefer the Qi10. Is that because it's the new one? I always think if someone were to hand you something and you didn't know what was what, and you didn't know that the Stealth 2 was the old generation, Qi10 was the new generation, if those were reversed and you still handed them to you, would you still like what you perceived was the newer one? Because that's how we're kind of wired as humans, isn't it? So, right, same again, same shot. That stayed bang straight. That is going to be interesting. See, I don't mind that shot if I can trust it and if I can actually try and do it. That's twice I've done that with the Stealth 2, isn't it? And the Qi10's just moved into fairway for me every time. the Qi10 is going to take that, because that might even be a lost ball. Still better value, I think, realistically.